So for the BF110, I've just been using my 2700 milliamp hour Nanotech 65C batteries that I use in EDFs, or the 3000 Eternity Graphene 45C. I haven't labelled it on here. The 45C comes out as a true 28C, that's 378 grams. The 2700 is only 335 grams, and I've got 2650s which are closer to 300 gram area. Flies totally fine with any of them. It's nice to have a bit more mass, flies a bit more linear anyway, so the 3000 is flying really well. I don't really want to beat them up flying this around saying I got them for EDFs, but it does a good job in the BF110. We're out with the BF110 for its third flight. I decided the rudders will look alright, but I don't have enough authority to steer it down the runway properly. It starts off wanting to go right. I can correct for that, but then it'll pull left, and I can't correct that.
Throttle active. Have you reset
it's all a
the
bit
timer?
tricky. But anyway, we'll see how good a job we can do. The problem is I need to power up a fair level of power so that it'll take off by the end of the runway. If I had a longer runway and could do it more gradual, probably alright. Pull up elevator, give it some tail wheel authority. That's turning, I can't stop it, it's turning, oh, it's got it. Oh, that's terrible. As usual.
15.9 volts. Landing gear retracted. 32.6 amps, 108 mAh, 15.7 volts. 21.4 amps, 156 mAh, 15.9 volts.
Going for a walk back to the shade.
0.9 amps, 202 mAh, 15.9 volts. 22.6
You can see it wiggling around in the wind. There's a little bit of turbulence off the trees. Now we made it to the shade.
288 mAh, 15.8 volts, 1 minute. 18 amps, 331 mAh, 15.8 volts. 20 amps,
It's a bit annoying when I go out there.
15.7
I have
volts.
to come around between the two light poles, so it's a good test of my depth perception.
mAh, 15.6 volts. 19 amps, 457 mAh, 15.6
I'll go up a tiny bit more throttle so that we can climb when we want to without any problem.
mAh, 15.5 volts. 22.8 amps, 548 mAh, 15.4 volts. 20.6
Wasn't a very good roll that time.
96 mAh, 15.3 volts. 19 amps, 637 mAh, 15.3 volts. 2
Cleaner.
minutes.
Well, it looks cleaner from the side.
20.4
I'm sure they look a bit
amps,
ugly from the rear.
683 mAh,
Just with the
15.3
twin tail not
volts.
rolling around nice.
19.5 amps, 723 mAh, 15.3 volts. 21.6 amps, 769 mAh, 15.2 volts. 18.6 amps, 822 mAh, 15.2 volts. 13.1 amps, 860 mAh, 15.3 volts.
Plenty of power to do
7.4
a
amps,
very big loop.
18 mAh, 15.2 volts. 14.2 amps, 941 mAh, 15.2 volts, 3 minutes. 13.3 amps, 975 mAh, 15.2 volts. 18.6 amps, 1008 mAh, 15.1 volts. 18 amps, 1050 mAh, 15 volts. 18.1 amps, 1087 mAh, 15 volts. 17 amps, 1128 mAh, 15 volts. 19.6 amps, 1171 mAh, 14.9 volts. 19.2 amps, 1214 mAh, 14.9
You can
volts.
see the slight buffeting from the wind every now and
21.1
then.
amps, 1259 mAh, 14.8 volts, 4 minutes. 17.6 amps, 1303 mAh, 14.9 volts. 20 amps, 1343 mAh, 14.8 volts. 21.1 amps, 1389 mAh, 14.8 volts. 22.7 amps, 1438 mAh, 14.7 volts. 17.3 amps, 1486 mAh, 14.8 volts. 6.7 amps, 1536 mAh, 14.9 volts. 15.7 amps, 1562 mAh, 14.8 volts, 5 minutes. 14.7 amps, 1594 mAh, 14.8 volts. 17.5 amps, 1632 mAh, 14.7 volts. 18.9 amps, 1678 mAh, 14.7 volts. 20.6 amps,
So it flies really nicely, but I'm
1722
pretty
mAh,
sure it'll be
14.6
nose heavy.
volts.
But that makes it fly very linear.
18.2
But
amps,
it has a slight struggle coming out of
1765
loops.
mAh, 14.6 volts.
Landing is not too bad, keeping the nose up.
1805 mAh,
But you just feel that it's
14.6
not
volts.
neutral.
19.4 amps, 1848 mAh, 14.6 volts. 17.9 amps, 1888 mAh, 14.6 volts, 6 minutes. 22.9 amps, 1934 mAh, 14.5 volts. 22 amps, 1982 mAh, 14.5 volts. 8.4 amps, 2029 mAh, 14.7 volts. 22.4 amps, 2060 mAh, 14.5 volts. 23.3 amps, 2105 mAh, 14.4 volts. 22.1 amps, 2165 mAh, 14.4 volts. 17.5 amps, 2222 mAh, 14.4 volts, 7 minutes. 15.2 amps, 2257 mAh, 14.5 volts.
Oh, time to consider landing.
Amps,
Low level flaps.
mAh, 14.4
Landing
volts.
gear.
Landing gear deployed. Flaps stage 1. 16 amps, 2330 mAh, 14.4 volts.
So I'm gonna stay in the
17.5
shade this
amps,
time. It's getting too hot to go out there.
14.4 volts. Flaps
Go to
fully
full
extended.
flaps.
15.7 amps, 2409 mAh, 14.4 volts. 3.2 amps, 2434 mAh,
Slight crosswind.
14.6 volts.
Let's lift it off again in the wind.
3.6 amps,
If I put the flaps up quickly, no, I couldn't stop it nosing over still.
Flaps retracted. 0.1 amps, 2443 mAh, 14.7 volts.
So that I can't hear a thing. Anyway, we've cut power right back. Yeah, it's a little bit rough for it.
Throttle cut set.
Can't stop it. Let's hit the rut. Go to
Flaps fully extended.
full flaps.
Commence landing procedure.
Flared a tiny bit much. Going over the wheel rut again. I mean the rut.
Throttle cut set.
Wheel.
Flaps fully extended.
Fully extended flaps. Cut power. Don't land on the wheel rut. I mean the rut.
10 minutes.
The whole purpose of landing over there is to stay away from it. Jesus. Flies in right along the pipeline. And we'll try not to land on the
Flaps fully extended.
Full flaps. Reduce power right down. Still a bit touchy on the still a bit touchy on the
Throttle cut set.
elevator through this gap around
18.4
here.
amps, 2,338 mAh, 14.3 volts, 6 minutes. 7 amps, 2,369 mAh, 14.5 volts. 0.9
And
amps,
nope.
2,381
I thought we might be able to keep the tail down, but
14.7.
Flaps fully
we'll go to
extended.
full flaps. Turn in through the gap. Throttle back. Uh-oh. Really need to get the tail down more before the touchdown. Just can't land horizontally.
Flaps fully extended.
Turn in through the gap. Reduce throttle.
8 minutes.
Still can't keep it up.
Flaps fully extended.
Landed a tiny bit short, and as every other time, flips over anyway.
2 amps,
So we're going to have to land across the ruts this time. We'll go to full flaps.
Flaps fully extended.
4.9 amps, 1,303 mAh, 14.8 volts. 3 amps, 1,312 mAh, 14.
Can it stay up? No. Never does. Full flaps.
Flaps fully extended.
15.2
Power right
amps,
back.
2,215 mAh, 14.5 volts. 1.7 amps, 2,200.
Bit of ground effect, keeping it in the air again. Get rid of the flaps. Oh,
Flaps stage
still
1.
tipped over.
Flaps retracted.
0.1